Yeah, I actually can because even when we played against you guys in the Asian games, like all the players were like, "Oh, I'm not afraid of Jordan Clarkson. I'm gonna play good defense on him. He can't guard me." Like, I was just like, this guy's like one of the best six men in the NBA. Like, he can't guard you, or you gonna stop him. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
The Philippines' favorite Korean player, Ricardo Ratliffe, joining us this afternoon live. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. How you guys doing?
Are you stateside right now, or are you in Korea?
I'm in Korea. We've been here. Me and my family been here for about 2 months now. Yeah, they wanted me back early because I suffered an injury last year, so they wanted to make sure I was good to go for the season, to rehab hard, and just to get back used to Korean basketball.
And of course, we need to ask how are things going over there? All over the world, it's going crazy, but South Korea looks like you guys are pretty calm over there right now, right?
Yeah, I think South Korea and China are doing the best. Taming the virus right now. You can't go outside without seeing everybody wearing a mask. All the restaurants are open. It's pretty much everything's open right now besides clubs. Clubs and bars are still closed, but everything else is open because the numbers are way down compared to most places in the world.
Yeah, we heard they opened for like a week and then shut everything down again in terms of the clubs and bars and all that.
I think
that's great to hear you and your family doing okay over there. But all of your Filipino fans, a lot of them, of course, call you Kuya Cardo.
Everybody
for your tour of duty back in the PBA. That was before you became the naturalized player for Korea, right?
Right. It was like right before my last stint. That was when I was in the process. I think they were kind of like finalizing stuff. That was in 2017. Yeah.
Carlo?
So what was the process like? How did they convince you to say yes to being a naturalized player for Korea? And how difficult was it to actually go through that process?
It was it was like my idea initially, but I just said it like in an interview. I never thought it would like actually work because Korea's never had one before. So I just brought up the idea in the interview, and it just they didn't take me serious at first. It's like, "Are you serious? Like, because if you're serious, then we're gonna really try to pursue it." And then after I told them I was serious, like basically they did all the work, and I was just in the background. I just they gave me some stuff to study. For the test, like some, I had to study some Korean history and stuff like that for the test. But other than that, I did nothing. I just, just did some interviews and stuff like that. Let them know why, let them know like how much I love the country and stuff and why I think I deserve the passport. But other than that, they did all the work. I just had to take that test and, do some interviews. That was about it.
And it does seem like you fit perfectly with that national program. All the shooters around you. You guys have been playing great basketball.
Yeah, that was that was kind of my argument when I had brought it up. Like, I think I would fit well with them. We got so many good shooters, and I think that to make Korea go to the next level, they just need toughness, and I think that's what I could bring to the team is toughness on both ends, and it's been working for us. I think we've been playing some pretty good basketball as of late.
But your most recent post on Instagram, you openly said that if you weren't playing all this time in Korea, you would love to go back to the Philippines and play here. How was the experience like playing here for you, Ricardo?
It was great. It was real similar to playing at home. Like, the style of play is real similar to the style that we play in America. So I thought I fit right well, like really well, playing in the Philippines. And everybody can speak English, and that's something I'm not used to. It's a lot of American restaurants, and it's just like it kind of felt more like me being home than in Asia. And my teammates were so They was nice. You know, they appreciated me. They let me know that the coach and the fans were great. Like it's actually a basketball country, and which is not here. Like, you know, I'm trying to help it be a better basketball country here. So, you know, it was just like it was great for me. Like if they would drop me today, then I would be trying to get a contract in the Philippines like 5 minutes later.
What would be the biggest difference between Korean basketball and Philippine basketball for you?
I think the style of play in the Philippines is like I was saying, it's more like American style. You know, like it's like more, it's like flashy, it's entertaining, more entertaining, I say, because you know, you Filipinos try to cross each other, they try to dunk on each other, and they try to dunk on and cross the imports. And then Korea is more so like, I think it's more like an old school style game, like people don't go out their elements, penetrate and kick. If you're a shooter, you just shoot. If you're a passer, you just pass. So
is it safe to say it's more European?
Yeah, I'll say that. Like it's not that. I feel like you guys are going with the evolution of basketball. Like I'll just say maybe like Filipinos is like in the Philippines it's like new school, and I'll say Korea is more so like old school. But
Ricardo, playing for the Star Hotshots, there are a lot of characters there, a lot of players who are very friendly, very funny. Who was your favorite to hang out with?
I didn't really hang out with many guys. I hang out with mostly like Justin Melton, and Raph Rivets. But you know, I also enjoyed Mark Fingers. That's my guy too. Yeah. So as far as, you know, off Filipino, I have to say Mark. Yeah, because you know the other guys are half from the States and stuff. So yeah.
So it's easier to connect and talk to them.
Right.
But you are in terms of the star imports, you were one of the best ones who was not able to make it to the finals. I mean, I remember this game when you grabbed, I think, 35 rebounds or something, some sort of record for you in the Philippines. If given another opportunity, do you feel that you could have done something special, probably won a championship with the Star Hotshots as well?
Oh yeah, of course. I feel like even if I would have been an import from start to finish, that we would have won maybe at least one of those two stints that I was there, because you know I always came as a replacement, so I had to, you know, adjust from, you know, and people don't know the styles of Korea to the Philippines is so different. Like it's like a total adjustment from, you know, just going from one country to the next. So I have to, you know, have a different mindset coming into playing in another country. You kind of got to be like, all right, I'm not in Korea no more, so I got to play like a different style of basketball. But I feel like if I would have been there from the beginning to, you know, preseason and finish through, I feel like I would have helped, you know, those guys get another championship.
How about from the people you faced here in the PBA? Well, who stands out for you? Who would be the most memorable ones?
I would have to say, of course, you know, Jumar, he's a beast. Jason Castro, he's like running like 1,000 miles an hour. I love watching Chris Ross, his defensive tenacity and his leadership on San Miguel. You know, you got, everybody knows Calvin. Seems like pretty crazy guy, but you know, he goes hard all the time, and you know, you got to respect his game. Yeah.
Do you still get to watch your PBA or highlights at least on social media? How do you keep in touch with the Philippine brand of basketball?
Oh no, I watch the games, especially you know, Magnolia. I got the PBA recap. Watch it on that. So I watch the games live. I usually would, if I'm just, you know, I don't watch everybody's game, but I try to make sure I watch every Magnolia game and, you know, congratulate them and stuff after the game with a little shout out on my story. And other times when I'm bored, I'll just watch other teams too. Like, especially if I got friends on the team, like San Miguel, I'm pretty close with Chris Ross, and pretty close with Moto Tua. So I'll make sure I try to watch those guys' games too.
Now, over 160 people watching us live right now. We'll just say hi to all of them: Melson Titular, Arvin J, GM Biaga, Era, Makinano Kasi, Aaron Varias, Alexander Andre Amora, and Brian Christian Bulan, with JCV De Guzman, all watching,
A
all
bunch of them
wanting
want
to
a
hear
shout
from you
out from
again.
you.
Yep.
A bunch of them want a shout out from Kuya Cardo.
Oh man, I love the fans, man. I just want to let them know that I appreciate all their support, and even though I'm on another team, playing another country, I still got, my heart's still in the Philippines too. So I just want to know that, I love them, and thanks for supporting me, and I'm still gonna support the PBA, all the fans.
How long, or because a lot of people here asking also, would you still like Alexander Amora? Would you still be allowed to play as an import for other countries? How long is the Korean basketball season? What are your windows of not having any work, especially with the national team? I guess.
Uh, as of now, I think I signed like a 6 year, and I think I'm about to be on year 4. So, but I know it's like a not guarantee. So they can like drop me at any time they want. But as long like if my numbers degress or anything, so they can like let me go at any time. But as of now, I think I have another 3 years. So after that, then I guess I'm pretty much free.
So it's actually an exclusive.
A month later, so I don't really have time to. I don't have time to really, play anywhere else at the moment.
So Ricardo, 3 years left in your contract, so that will run until the next World Cup that the Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia will be hosting. So how much are you looking forward to, possibly playing here in the Philippines, but playing for Korea?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be like bittersweet, just like the last time. I played you guys in the Asian Games.
Asian Games.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed I got booed before the game, but I understand. I seen them booing everybody else. I was like, oh, they're not gonna boo me. They're not gonna boo me. But they booed me, so I had to do what I had to do.
Ricardo, I was actually there. I was actually watching you play. It was
and I heard Carlo booing you too. He was booing you.
I was in the raptor, so you wouldn't even hear me, man. You wouldn't even hear me. How was it like? How was it like playing against Jordan Clarkson? Of course, you go way back too. How was it like that experience?
Man, it's crazy seeing like how good he's gotten, like that within that short amount of time. You know what I'm saying? When he first coming to Mizzou, I was about to leave, but I was actually one of his host people that showed him around campus and stuff. I seen him playing like open run and stuff, and to see like how much better he's gotten in that short of a time is crazy. Like now, he's one of the best players in the NBA, average 14, 15 points a game in the NBA. So, just to see his progress and how much work he's put in the off seasons and just get better and better every year to now be like one of the best six men in the NBA, it's crazy. So, after the game, I just, congratulate him and let him know that I'm following him, and, he always got my support, and he said the same thing to me.
So that win you had against the Philippines certainly hurt our chances of moving forward in the Asian Games, but I would say that you more than made up for it the next time that you would be involved in something similar, because well, of course, I'm pointing to the fact that the Philippines needed to win our last game to make it into the last World Cup.
Let's paint the picture. Let's paint the picture. Last day of the last window, you guys were already in. Korea was in. It was a non-bearing game for you guys, but you guys traveled to Lebanon still. Japan was going to take on Qatar. New Zealand was also in, and they traveled to Jordan for a non-bearing game. They brought kids. New Zealand brought kids. We needed either New Zealand, Korea, or Japan to win. So, which means losses by Lebanon, Qatar, or Jordan, coupled with just one of those happened, coupled with a Gilas Pilipinas win. All throughout that game, the entire Philippines, all of us, we were watching our game for Gilas Pilipinas, of course, take on Kazakhstan. But we had the other eye on. Everybody was on their phones, even the Philippines on the bench. The Philippine players, the reserves behind the bench, everybody was on their phone, scoreboard watching. Japan was blowing out Qatar already. New Zealand, they were getting beaten by Jordan already. And throughout that second half of your game, we were following both the score and your box score. You were just a monster that game. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
And legend has it, I think that's what Carlo wanted to ask. Before your game, or the night before, some of the Filipino guys, some of the Gilas players actually messaged you.
Right. They did. Yeah. They were just asking, like, yo, man, are y'all trying to win? Like, if so, like, we'll appreciate it. And I was like, man, I got you. Like, don't worry about that. Even if we lose, like, I'm gonna go out there and, give 100% just for you guys. But my teammates followed my lead, and we ended up winning the game.
25 points, 11 rebounds, an assist, and 4 shot blocks that game. And with that non-bearing game, you guys did not need to win. With your win, and coupled with the Philippines win, we made it to the World Cup.
Right.
We haven't thanked you enough, I guess. Thank you again for that performance.
Yeah. Actually, we set up this entire interview just to thank you.
Yeah. I think I had like maybe about 1,000, DMs. I think, right after the game, I posted, the Filipino flag on my story with a heart, just to let everybody know that I was gonna go out there and give it my all, and I did. I thought I played like pretty decent. I didn't play my best game, but I gave it all I had, and we ended up winning the game.
Because it was a non-bearing game for you guys, was it ever in question that your team was going to send kids along with you to develop or something, or was it just really all out?
Nah, here in Korea they'll never do that. Like, even when we go to the Jones Cup, we play in tournaments that don't count, tournaments that you don't get money. Like, I'm going. Like, we're gonna send our best guys. You know what I mean? Even I think we played in the last window when we just played against I forgot who we played. There was 2 like lower ranked teams, but they played like not younger. They played younger guys, but it was still stars, and I was still supposed to go, but I had ended up getting injured. So at the end of the day, coach is like, we're not gonna, we're gonna keep our foot on anybody's neck. Like, that's just Korean style. They just want to win all the time, even if it doesn't count.
Ricardo, I'm sure you know the history between the Philippines and Korea. How the South Korean basketball team has always been a thorn on the side of the Philippines,
except for that one time.
Except for the one
time.
But playing on the other side, can you sense the confidence that your local guys play with when they're going up against our team?
Yeah, I actually can, because even when we played against you guys in the Asian games, like, all the players were like, "Oh, I'm not afraid of Jordan Clarkson. I'm going to play good defense on him. He can't guard me." Like, I was just like, this guy's like one of the best 6 men in the NBA. Like, he can't guard you, or you're gonna stop him. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not gonna happen. But I like your mindset. I like your mentality. So if you guys thinking like that, then I'm pretty confident in our chances to win today.
What do you think it's born out of? Is it the legendary discipline? They're talking about the shooting schools and this and that from a young age. Everybody's just really trained properly over there. Where does that confidence come from? Where do you think?
Against you, I honestly don't know. Because I was went into games where, the players are scared to death. But when we play against, when they play against you guys, it's like different. But maybe it's just because they've got some wins, so now they just like feel, like they can't lose against the Philippines. I don't know.
The Korea's lost once in 20 years, I think, if we're not mistaken. Something around that number. But they're always close, especially in the knockout stages, quarterfinals, semifinals. Always close, and it's just a matter of 1 or 2 baskets. Almost all the time, except for when you guys played it, that was a blowout.
That's how it be in basketball. It just take like one mistake, one turnover, or what I mean, just to change the whole momentum of the game. And I don't know. I just think it's it just Korea is so disciplined. You know what I mean? So, and if you want to beat this team, you're gonna have to be as well. I think you're gonna have to be twice as disciplined as this team in order to beat them.
It is a thing. It is a thing of beauty the way you guys move the ball and all, the way you guys run your sets. It is just a thing of beauty. How every basketball team tries to instill that discipline. What's so special about the Korean brand that everybody just buys into it and everybody's just really there? Everybody's on the same page, I guess.
Because it's their Korean, it's their culture. That's why they buy into it. You know what I mean? They're a disciplined culture. Like everybody, like, you know, we respect our elders in the States and stuff, but here it's like to another level. It's like you really have to. You know what I mean? So they have so much respect for the coach. Whatever he says, they're going to do it. Like, they're never going to go outside of what the coach says. So if the coach says run a set like this, everybody's going to buy into it 100%. Whereas, like, in the States, you know, sometimes coach may say something, but the point guard can say, like, nah, coach, this is not going to work. I don't think this is a good idea. But in Korea, it's like everybody's just like, yes, sir. Like, we're going to do that. So I think the fact that they respect, you know, their elders so much, their disciplined country, their culture is disciplined. It translates to their sports.
Ricardo, I also noticed one of your Instagram posts recently. It was shared by Chris Ross, and I was really enamored with the way that you set out your argument, because we all know that your talent, your size, certainly good enough to make it to the NBA. There's no question about that. But you chose a different path, and you are happy with the decisions that you made leading up into it. When you were at that crossroads, between trying to play in the NBA D League, which is now the G League, and trying your luck elsewhere, what ultimately led to your decision to say that I'm okay not playing in the NBA, I need to take care of my family?
Yeah, for me it was just money. Like, when at first I was just planning on, you know, just going to the D League, and but then when I heard that those guys only make like 30 tops, like 30,000 for the season, I was just like, I can't do that. You know, I'm being offered hundreds of thousands of dollars to play, you know, in another country. So I may as well just try this, and maybe if I can go overseas and, you know, make a lot of money, maybe then I'll try the D League. But then after my first year, I actually got signed, offered back to the same team because I won the championship. I played well. And then the same thing, like, throughout my career, like, I got offered back by my team like every single year. So I was just like, well, maybe, you know, it's kind of like a sign that I should just, you know, try to stay out here and, you know, see what happens. And then, you know, after I think it was my fourth year, that's when I ended up, after my fifth year, that's when I ended up playing in the Philippines too. So I was just like, man, it seems like it's a good deal. Like, I'm out here, instead of being like a, you know, end of the bench guy in the NBA, I end up being a legend in, you know what I mean, this country, and, you know, being loved by fans in the Philippines. And I only played there probably a total of 5 months. So I'm like, I think for me, it's a lot better situation than me just being buried at the end of the bench, or just fighting for, you know, a contract every year in the D League. I'd rather be, you know, doing what I'm doing right now.
Well said. And I mean, just for South Korea to naturalize a player, which is something that they have not done before ever, it takes a really special player to do that. And you know what? As a Filipino, I'm really jealous that they got to sign you up.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm still kind of shocked when I hear about it, because I heard, like, you know, so many players have brought it up before me, but it didn't work out. And, you know, when I asked people, like, why didn't it work out, they say because the Koreans, they didn't want it to work out. You know what I mean? So for me to say it, and then they actually, you know, try to, you know, go through this tough process of getting me naturalized, and then a year later I'm naturalized, it's like, you know, it's still like kind of like mind blowing to me that it actually happened, and they chose me to be the first person.
Hello?
Yeah, so that's another 3 years on your contract to play for that national team, and of course for your commercial league over there, or for your professional league.
Right.
So if ever you make it back to the Philippines, not for the World Cup, but to play in the PBA again, that's still not going to be for another 3 years, right?
As I think so, yeah. I'm gonna have to, ask my agent and stuff like that. Talk to him about the 100% details. But as of now, like, yeah, I think that's how it'll be because, with the national team and stuff being so close to the season ending, I won't really have time anyway.
But Magu, at his age right now, after 3 years and the way that he's conditioned, I think at 34, 35, he will still be beasting in the PBA if he makes it back here.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, I hope so. That's the goal. I had some teammates that were as old as 44 years old, and I try to watch those guys and study the way they play. Like Ira Clark, I think he had a stint in the PBA. He was my teammate for 3 years, so I try to watch him, eat like him, exercise like him, and I want to play till I'm 44 years old too. So that could be if I'm able to do that, then I think I'll have a consider.
Asi Taulava's still playing, right?
Who?
Asi Taulava
in the PBA.
Like 40, he's like 44, right?
45, yeah.
45, yeah. That's amazing, man. And like Raph, I think Raffy is like 40 years old.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy, man. Like the way these guys take care of their body, it's amazing. And I want to be the same way.
Ricardo, we have a question from one of our Facebook viewers, and we're actually quite curious about this as well. Where did your Korean name come from? Where did Raguna come from?
Okay. Well, Ra, this R.A. comes from my last name being Ratliffe. But Guna, like I just looked up like Korean names that mean like certain things. I looked up a name that meant like strong and like leader. So I ended up picking something different. It wasn't Guna, but I forgot the exact name I chose. But my coach was saying that it was North Korean, like it sounded too North Korean. So he just found the South Korean version of what I chose, and it ended up being Guna. So with the Ra from my, Ratliffe, R.A., and then just Guna from what I chose, we just put it together, and that's how it came about.
So it was you who chose the name. That's a great story.
Right. Yeah, I chose it.
Thank you to Marilu Padua for that question. I think a couple of weeks ago or last week, you were quoted. Was it the score, Carlo? I think you were interviewed and asked about the younger generation of Filipino players. You already mentioned earlier guys like Jason Castro and Calvin Abueva as the guys you really like from the Philippine team. Right. But you're quoted as saying you believe 30 Ravenna was the future of Philippine basketball.
Yeah. I definitely think so. I watched them play in the Jones Cup. I watched some like highlights and stuff on this all the time on like the Philippines Instagram, the athletic. I forgot the name of it, but I was always watching it, and I'd be like, "Who is this dude, man? Like he's like a Filipino Russell Westbrook or something."
Yeah, that's what they've been calling him.
Yeah, and I had seen him in the Jones Cup. I think it's a couple years ago, and he killed us. Like, because we were our real national team to the Jones Cup, and he played well against us. Like he had like 13 points. He had a dunk, probably like 7 rebounds, a block. I'm like, who's this dude? And it's like, oh, he's still in college. I'm like, what the world? Like his athleticism is like off the charts, and
I think he averaged 1 nasty block a game there. Not just block, sure. Nasty block. It's got to be a nasty block.
Like an NBA caliber, like top 10, like ESPN top 10 caliber block. So, and then, I met him in person. I think I ran into him at the hotel. And then I was just like, hey, what's up, man? And then he came up to me. He was talking like how he was a fan of me and stuff, like from my stint in the PBA. And he asked me for a jersey. So, I signed it and gave it to him. I let him know that I was his fan too. And after that, I've just been, keeping up with him. And, I see he just signed in Japan. I know he's going to go out there and play well and represent for the Philippines. So, I think he's got a really, really bright future ahead of him.
You already mentioned it. 30 is going to Japan. Being a veteran international basketball player,
Right.
How do you think 30 plays in Japan? I think he's joining a 5-win team, but he's going
Yeah.
to get playing time because he didn't want to join a team with the national players in the same position. So
Yeah.
how do you think he turns that club around? How do you think he performs personally and for his team?
I think he made the right decision by choosing a lesser team, especially at the start. You know what I mean? Like just to test the waters and see how you like it, because it's a big culture difference out there. Like Japan is kind of similar to Korea, real like strict on stuff. So I think that he just got to go out there and just have a free mind, be super confident, and he got to always know that he's still like one of the best. He's one of the best players in the country. Like just go out there with that mindset and play like it. And at the end of the day, just know that if it doesn't work out, if you don't like it in Japan, you can always just go home. So there's no need to stress about it because you can go home and be right back in the PBA and playing good basketball, be comfortable and stuff like that. So just go out there with a positive attitude and just willing to work.
The one of the biggest difference, I guess, between you and 30 is you're based in Korea, but you got to bring your family along. 30 is going to be alone. How difficult is that going to be from the early parts of your career when you had to live somewhere by yourself?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult, but with him, I can see like he's so driven. As long as he got a basketball, I think that he'll be fine as long as he's playing basketball. And he can. It's always like ways that get your family out there during the holidays and stuff like that. And I think, like I was saying, just staying positive and using modern technology like me and you are doing right now, just stuff like that. You just got to take full advantage of it, and just stay positive and stay focused, and just think about basketball and taking care of your family back home.
Ricardo, there are a bunch of comments on Facebook, just Magnolia fans asking when you'd come back and help the team out. We've already answered it, but it is for sure like you're one of the most awaited imports because they know how good you are and they know that you can take this to another level.
Yeah, I think that it was like a match made in heaven. My Korean agent actually got me there the first time. They was telling me like, "Yo, man, you gonna go to a team that's, it's probably like the Lakers or like the Celtics in the NBA. It's like they got a really storied franchise, but they just been down as of late. So they trying to. I think he told me like they just really want me to come and try to help them make the playoffs at the time, because I think that I don't know if they had a win at the time. So I was just like, okay, I'll try. I never played here before, but I'm willing to give it a try. If they like me, then that's fine. But if they don't, I could just go home because I just got finished with my stint in Korea. So when I went there, I think my first practice, I was just like, man, these guys are like super good. Like how are you guys having a down year? But I talked to some of the guys, and they was just like, man, I think that we kind of down just because we was missing like a good import. You know what I mean? So I just just went out there and did what I do, play hard as I play, and they ended up liking me. After the first game, the coach was like, man, like you're a good player. I could see you being our import for a while. And I was like, oh wow, after one game, like thank you. Then I just kept continuing to play how I played, giving everything I got, and I think they fell in love with me. I fell in love with them, so that's why I think it's like like a match made in heaven. I'm appreciative of the organization, fans, the whole country, because I was getting showed like a lot of love at the airport before I even came. I was like, what the. And like in the newspapers, like signs like Korean player that played in Korea for this long, and I didn't see nothing negative, no negative comments or nothing. I was just like, okay, like this could be like, this could be a good thing for me too. Because I was planning on, if I didn't get the passport, going to the Philippines every season after I'm done with Korea. So that was just gonna be until I retired. Yeah, that was my plan.
Bye, Mommy.
Of course, your heart would belong to Magnolia, but what if another team picks you up? Well, which team would you prefer? Of course, your first choice would be Magnolia or the Pure Foods franchise, but which else?
I wouldn't even pick. If they let me go, if they gave away my rights, then I'll just just play for anybody. I like to, I enjoy the Philippines and PBA altogether. So if they did give my rights away, then I would just give my all to any team that is willing to have me.
I really doubt it's going to happen, though. They won't give away your rights.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. But of course, that's always going to be my first choice, Magnolia.
Ricardo, just winding down this interview again. We thank you for joining us. Thank you for setting aside some of your time to talk to us.
Sure.
What's the legacy that you want to leave for Korean basketball? Being the first naturalized player, being the blueprint for what will happen in the future for that particular squad. What's the legacy that you want to leave after your stint there is done?
I just want to be, just somebody that make my family proud, my wife, my daughter, my mom, and on the fans, I just want to be remembered as super, super hard worker. Somebody that never quit, never gave up, and my story now is pretty good. I got 3 best former players and 4 championships, but I want to be known as somebody that still he has a good career, but he's still playing like he's never won anything. And with me being the first American to get naturalized, I figured that'll be good for somebody in the future. Now, the next player could be growing up, want to be he played in Korea, so maybe I want to be naturalized there now, and they got a chance because it's been done before. So their process will be a lot easier, maybe take a lot less time, and people could look forward to it because the success that I've helped this country have. So I think it's all positive, and I look forward to even seeing what's in store for me next.
I'm not sure if this next request is going to be ethical or not. Could you give us an idea of who the next up-and-coming Koreans are for the national team? Who do we have to watch out for in the future? Because almost every time you guys send a national team, there's 9 guys you got to watch. It's not like just 2 guys or 1 guy. It's
Right.
9 guys. Who is the next generation for Korean basketball?
I'll say Hohon. You know who that is? That's RJ son, little short.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
He was actually MVP this past season. So I think that him and it's another guy. I can't remember his name in Korean, but we call him KC. He's 6'7" slasher, super athletic, and of course the guy I always post, Choi Jun-young. I think he played pretty well last time that we played you guys, but I think those 3 guys are working on changing, the way that Korean basketball is played. They play a different type of game. They play more free, kind of like you guys play in the PBA. So I think they, working on changing the style of play in Korea. And I think it's positive, in a positive way.
And just to let you know, next time Korea plays the Philippines and you hear Carlo Pamintuan booing you, there's always respect behind that. There's all kinds of respect behind that boo, but he will be doing it.
Nah, man, just be quiet. Just stay neutral. Just don't say nothing. Anything is better than boo, because the boo is going to be taken negatively until after the game.
If I boo Ricardo Ratliffe, I know he'd grab 25 rebounds in a game, man.
That's what I'm
it's
trying
not
to do.
even worth it.
That's what I'm trying to do. I don't know why. I was just thinking all right, they're not gonna boo me. They're not gonna boo me. And then it's Ron going, boo. I'm like, what? I was like, okay, so this how it is now? Okay.
Carlo, you have been warned, Carlo.
We're going to make sure that when you play in the World Cup, you're going to receive a much better ovation. I will be spearheading your fan club.
All right.
You know how they have those little signs that go, that's gonna be Carlo.
I will be producing one for you.
Man, I look forward to it, man. Look forward to coming back and playing against you guys again, seeing all the fans, and just look forward to a great game, a good battle, and may the best team win.
And we are in the same group in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, if I remember correctly. So at some point in the future, I'm sure that you will cross paths with the Philippine team again, and we're looking forward to it. Again, thank you for your time, Ricardo. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for inspiring and letting people believe and entertaining the basketball crazy Republic of the Philippines. We all have nothing but respect for you, except when you play us.
right. That makes sense. Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man. I had a great time with you guys, and anytime you want to have another interview or anything, just same thing. Just let me know in advance, and we could get it done.
Thank you again, Ricardo. Stay safe, stay healthy. You and your family, of course, there in South Korea. We thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you on the court playing once again.
Yes, sir, man. You too. Keep that mask on.
And that'll do it for this episode of 2OT on Facebook Live. We also want to greet a very happy birthday to Boss Manny V. Pangilinan, celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday. Head on over to the podcast of Sedelf Tupas next, because he'll be talking about players who got the support of MVP throughout their careers. But for Ricardo Ratliffe, for Maguma John,
happy birthday, Boss MVP.
See you again next time here on 2OT.